Welcome back. This is the third of four elemental readings. These are love readings for the month of August. This is my love grid using rose quartz and desert rose selenite and a bunch of love-based crystals and rose quartz surrounding it. And I have a love grid set up. Just love, love, love. we are in Leo, which is a fire sign. You know, just take it for what it is. I mean, this love reading can pertain to your situation, or it can pertain to yourself, or it could be both. So what we're going to do now, I've already posted the fire signs and the water signs. Now we're moving on to earth. Your earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And as I stated in the other videos, there's a bit of every sign in all of us. You may, call yourself a Aries or a Taurus, and you ascribe to that energy more than the other, but there is a piece of all of this in all of us. You are not just one sign. You are not just your sign. And if you're a cusp child, such as myself, I'm an Aries Pisces, or Pisces Aries, however you want to put it. If you're a cusp, then you can look at more than one video. Again, like I said, you can look at all the videos and see what pertains to you. This is an intuitive reading. I'm using the Ascended Master Oracle cards. I'm using my intuition on top of what the card is directly speaking. If it does not pertain to you, if it does not make sense to you, I apologize. Keep it moving. If it does, I love you. Again, if it don't, I love you. Take it with a grain of salt. Use it as needed, and don't if it don't apply. So we have the four corners is what I'm using. We're going to be talking from a higher perspective of what you need to be working on for the month, a lower perspective, or what the low side of the energy might bring to you, what you've been trying to control that you may need to stop trying to control, and what you need to be trying to create, your masculine and your feminine. So as above, so below. So let's see what we got going on here. So the higher perspective is the You Can Do It in Reverse card, which is Archangel Michael. The lower perspective is the Teacher card, which is Mahochanan Ragoshi. And I probably butchered his last name, but oh well. What you need to control is the Open Your Heart to Love, the Jesus card. And what you need to be trying to create is Fertility, the Pan card. So what we're going to start out with is the higher perspective on what the energy is going to be leading you into this month. And disclaimer, as in the other videos, we are in Mercury retrograde. It does end on August 19th. It does have the tendency to mess up communications, not only with relationships and situations, but also within yourself. So be mindful of when you're getting mixed signals or mixed messages from others, and even in some cases when you're sending them yourself. So it's the way the higher perspective is working is the You Can Do It card, and it's Archangel Michael. Reversals are not always reversals for me, and the way this card is feeling is this is a higher perspective, so it's being offered down to us. Archangel Michael, if you ascribe to the angelics, he's the grand protector. He cuts through everything, and he's the supreme protector if you follow that pantheon or that walk of life. So the You Can Do It card is, a lot of us are going through all these retrogrades, these marital changes and relationship changes and job changes and personal changes, and you just feel like I'm overwhelmed and I can't deal with it. And now we're going through Mercury retrograde, and it's just getting even worse. You can do it. Archangel Michael is saying you can do it. Don't give up. Call on your support. Even if you don't ascribe to the angels and you don't want to call on him, call on your ancestors, call on your spirit guides, call on your higher self, call on your family, call on your friends, call on somebody. But you can do it. You can use this energy that we are in right now to make it a positive and not just a negative. So many people say, oh, it's, again, it's retrogrades, or oh, it's eclipses and full moons. And they just give themselves into, no, I got to act crazy, or shit's going to go crazy around me. No, you can do it. Whatever you set your mind to be what you're trying to get to, you can do it. Call on help or be your own self-help. And in some cases, I will caution you against going too far into self-help, because it's heavy out here. And even those of us who claim to have all this, immense spiritual strength, we get weak too. So do not try and bottle this stuff up and do it on your own. And you'll hear me say that a lot. And I mean it. I talk to a lot of people, and I've had to talk to a lot of people. So help each other out. Don't try and be Superman out here, kryptonites all around. The lower perspective is the Teacher card. And I mean, to me, is it speaking directly in you need to understand that everything that you're going through is a lesson. Everything you're going through is a lesson to bring you to a state of higher existence. You can learn it the right way, or you can end up having to repeat the cycle. And sometimes you have to kind of step out of it. Like with an earth signs can be stubborn and bullheaded. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it is what it is. They can be bullheaded and they don't want to hear nothing and they don't want to learn nothing. And that puts them in a position of thinking that they already know. And that makes them the teacher. And I guess what I forgot to do was kind of like give some of the attributes of the earth signs, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They can be dependable. They can be grounded. They can be reliable, but they can be materialistic, and they can be loyal, and they can be practical. Sometimes that practicality is what will get you messed up, because you think you're going to see things in that clear-cut direction of this is what it is, and this is what it has to mean, and so then you close yourself out from learning. And that's where this teacher card is coming in, saying you have to look at everything from more than just your own perspective, or else you're not opening yourself up from learning. You can't take everything personal. You can't think that you already have the answer for everything, because if you did, you probably wouldn't be here. And even further, you probably wouldn't be going through your situation. So stay open to learning and make sure that you are allowing your soul to not only be taught, but to teach others and to teach yourself. I mean, if your higher self already has knowledge that your ego self is in denial of, you need to submit yourself a little bit and stay grounded, but stay open. Coming over here to what you need to stop trying to control, or what you need to have a better sense of control of. And this is, you open your heart to love. The Jesus card. I mean, and okay, what I'm feeling from that is it's more of a martyr energy. You do need to open yourself up to love, but you don't need to open yourself up to a love that is only killing you. We can have situations and situationships and marriages and friendships and even internal systems within ourselves that where we have already set a goal for the finish line. And you don't care what gets in the way of that goal or that finish line. The finish line is the goal. And that can, mess you up. That can lead you on the cross. I mean, if you're going down a road that is just not designed for you and you are hard-headed and you just know, I'm going to keep pumping my energy into this because this is what I want, then that could lead you, pretty much into getting crucified. So you need to open your heart to love, but you need to make sure that love is what's being put at the forefront from what you're trying to build. Is it love or is it attachment? Open your heart. Get rid of those attachments, because a lot of us, and especially earth signs, and I know a few of you, I ain't gonna call your name though, but there's a few of you earth signs that I know who are more in love with the idea of your relationship than the relationship itself. And you need to be mindful of that. I mean, are you attached to the idea of the person, or are you attached to what the person presents him or herself for, to make you have a better sense of existence? And I mean, it's a tricky thing when you fall in love with somebody and then you realize that they're not who you fell in love with, but oh well, I've already invested this time, and this is who I love. But in a sense, it's not really love, it's attachment. It's what you've grown accustomed to, and so that's what you build on. So you need to open your heart to a higher love. I'm going to call this an unconditional love. You need to open your heart to understand that if it's not, feeding your soul 100% through and through, you may need to stop trying to control it and start coming over here and start creating fertility. I mean, Pan. I mean, if you think about Pan in the more satirical sense, he's always presented as a frolicky nymph type guy, or a satyr dancing around playing the pan flute and all that stuff, and women naked dancing around him, just happy-go-lucky, about to have a orgy type energy. You need to open yourself up to that level of fertility. Your soul needs to be dancing and singing in all things you're doing. All things you're doing. Excuse my language. Excuse my stumbles, I mean to say. You need to put yourself at a state to where everything produces life around you. This is not just strictly fertility as in, oh, I'm about to get pregnant this month, or oh, I'm about to get somebody pregnant this month. No, this is a fertilize your mind. A lot of us are putting weed killer on our mind, thinking that we're getting rid of situations, but you're using toxic systems to get rid of situations, which is preventing your own growth. Fertilize your mind enough with enough good thoughts, enough good actions, enough good attractions, and enough good sense to say when things no longer serve you, to where you automatically get that air into your system. And that air is a very strong natural fertilizer. Plants won't grow if they don't get proper oxygen. So fertilize your mind. Give yourself a chance to air out what is holding you down. And in some cases, what's holding you down is really yourself. So again, this is the love reading for earth signs. You can do it, but you're going to have to be open to being taught. And you're going to have to understand when you are feeding more into attachments than true sense of love. And then you need to get to a point to where you are clear-minded and actually fertilizing the existence and the abundances that you want. Again, we're in August. The lion gates open. The lion gates of abundance, 8-8, and all that good stuff. We got an eclipse thereafter. Now's your time to get this shit right. So don't be so bullheaded and grounded and think that you already know the answers, especially when your situation is telling you otherwise. If you can't look at yourself and say that you're 100% happy, do the work. Just my intuition. Again, like I said earlier, take it with a grain of salt. I'm Tony, also known as T Jinx on Instagram, or Heal and Reveal on Facebook. Peace and wholeness. One more to go.